my gosh. Come on now. This ain't right. Yo, what's good everybody? It's your boy Cedric. Welcome back to Sweet Scale TV. So this time last year, I had just cracked 1,000 subscribers, and I wanted to thank the producer community by sharing my favorite VSTs in 2020. I had no idea I was gonna get that much support from the producer community. I think a lot of people enjoyed the list, but they more enjoyed how I played, which I really appreciate. But this year I wanted to come correct. I did plenty of research, and I am 150% confident in my selection for this year's top VSTs. I have some really cool VSTs to show you with some amazing presets. There's only so many presets I can show you in one episode, but these are the VSTs I use to make music day in and day out. So be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification. So I got a list of 13 VSTs. These plugins are like all-stars, the best of the best. Just because I have one ranked at 12 does not mean I don't use it. I use these plugins day in, day out because they are all great. Also, if you have a plugin that you're in love with and it's not on my list, I don't want you guys getting offended. We're allowed to have a difference of opinion. Your favorite basketball player might not be my favorite. Your favorite food might not be my favorite. Whatever works for you, cool. I'm just sharing what works for me. And lastly, I bought every single one of these VSTs. None of them were given to me for free. I don't get a kickback for saying one VST is better than another, because at the end of the day, they're all great. We're starting things off with Nexus 3. Nexus 3 is a great plugin, especially if you're into hip hop, trap, R&B, EDM. Not only does it have amazing sounds in terms of presets, but you can also find some amazing arpeggios and modulators. I didn't need to watch any tutorials to learn how to use Nexus. Everything's just really easy to use, even when it comes to adjusting the screen, scrolling through different presets, searching for a specific sound. Let's look for a piano. And then I can narrow it down even more in terms of dark, bright, or favorites. And making adjustments to a preset, if whether I want to add a filter or I can go to the effects section. It's really easy to use. I know it's at the bottom of my list, but like I said, these plugins are all-stars. They're that good. I'm not gonna spend too much time on Nexus 3 because I did do a full review on the plugin, so definitely check that out if you're interested in picking it up. Moving on to number 12, we have Output. Now I put the Output bundle as a VST because Output comes with so many amazing instruments. Not only am I a fan of Exhale, but analog brass and winds it's so good. It comes with over 500 presets, and like Nexus, you have categories, so you can get more specific. So if I'm looking for orchestra with some glides, I can get really specific and choose a certain preset. Also making adjustments to presets, whether you want to adjust effects, rhythms, add an arpeggio, it's all possible. Analog strings is also amazing. This also comes with 500 presets. Not to mention one of my favorites, Exhale. So I can use loops, slices, notes. Notes is where you can play the keyboard like an actual piano. And here are all your different options in terms of presets. You can make adjustments to your presets, add effects. Everything is customizable in Exhale. So Exhale is an option in terms of vocals, but Output also has another option called Arcade. Arcade is an amazing plugin by Output. You do have to pay a monthly subscription, and I think Arcade typically gives you a month free, so you can always try it out, see if it's something that works for you. My favorite category is Hooked. Anytime I need a vocal chop, I know I can go to Arcade. Just remember, a lot of producers have access to Hooked and Arcade, so if you're gonna use some of these vocal chops, try to make them sound unique. I've done that a few times in a couple beat making videos, so check those out. But yeah, there's some really cool vocal chops to help spark creativity. Moving on to number 11 is one of my favorites. I guess I gotta stop saying one of my favorites because they're all my favorites. But moving on to number 11 is Pigments. Now in terms of instruments and presets, Pigment is a top 5. In terms of sound design, Pigment is a top 3, top 5. The reason why it's just out of the top 10 is Pigment uses so much CPU. I've got a brand new MacBook Pro with 64 gigs of RAM, 8-core processor, and I have no issues with Pigments whatsoever. But I did do a review on Pigments 2 when I had a 2012 MacBook Pro with 16 gigs of RAM, and it was so hard to use. So if you're on the fence about picking up Pigments 2, if you got 32 gigs of RAM, you should have no issues. But if you got 16 gigs of RAM, Speaking from experience, it's not something I would invest in until I had a computer with 32 gigs of RAM. That's just my recommendation, but hey, it's your life. You do what you want to do. I'm just giving you guys my 2 cents. Since I got my brand new Mac, I love using pigments. I went through every single preset and selected my favorites. I love this electric guitar solo. Just a side note, if I do end up playing a song, all the sounds you're hearing, well minus the drums, are from that specific plugin. I can't say enough about how great Pigments is. Only issue is how much CPU it takes up. Other than that, I love this plugin. It hurt me to put this plugin at number 10 because I think personally it should be ranked way higher, but I can't be biased because I love a plugin. I have to be truthful. So coming in at number 10 is Heat Up 3. If you see me make beats, you know I use Heat Up 3 all the time. So I picked up Heat Up 3. At the time it was about $150. Once I bought the VST, Initial Audio sent me all their expansion packs, and like I said, this is one of my favorites. In terms of presets and workflow, this is easily a top 3 for me. Just taking a look at the 808 section, there's so many favorites. Look at how many favorites I've selected. There's just so many great basses, keys, organs, pads. I mentioned exhale and output in terms of vocal chops, but Heat Up 3 also has amazing vocal chops. The reason why it's ranked so low is because although it has amazing presets, in terms of really tweaking the presets, there's not much you can do. I'm not going to spend too much time on Heat Up 3 because I did do a full review on the plugin. It's currently still on sale for $99. It's probably the cheapest plugin in this video. I cannot say enough good things about Heat Up 3. Coming in at number 9 is the Rolling Cloud. This right here is a rolling keyboard. That's another rolling keyboard. Another rolling keyboard. This DJ controller is a rolling product. And I just bought another rolling keyboard on Boxing Day. So I think you guys get the point that I love rolling products. I bought the $199 subscription. So you pay $199 for the year, so I have a full year to try out all these different rolling products, and at the end of the year I'm going to be able to keep 2 of their plugins for life without having to renew my subscription. I've heard a few people say they've had issues with CPU. I've had no issues whatsoever. I like the Cloud Supply. It's got some great sounds. In terms of navigation, I love the fact that I can scroll through presets with this keyboard, but some of their instruments, like say the Juno 106, it's got some great sounds, but in terms of navigating the Juno 106, I'm not too impressed. It's not the greatest for workflow, but it's not the end of the world. You got all these vintage racks from the keyboards, pianos, orchestras, as well as the TR series. I'll be doing a full review on the Rolling Cloud, so be on the lookout for that. Coming in at number 8, and this could easily be a top 3, is the Korg bundle. I'm not going to spend too much time on the Korg Triton because I already did a review on that. Definitely check that out. But some that I've been sleeping on is the MS-20. The MS-20 is ridiculous. I did read some comments where people were saying some of the sounds are old. Well, so is The Godfather, but it's still an amazing movie. So is Remember the Titans. Just because it's old doesn't mean it isn't good. I covered this in my last episode where you can use so many different effects to add so much spice and add so much life to an old sound. I found a hidden gem with the MS-20, so check out this old sound. Woo! Oh my gosh. Come on now, this ain't right. This is crazy, bro. This is not right. I'm speechless. I might have to revisit the ranking system. But coming in at number 7, we've got Serum. I know Serum is great, especially for you producers that like to create your own sounds. There's so much you can do in terms of sound design with Serum. I'm not a producer that likes to do a lot of sound design, at least right now. I do feel like in the next year or so, I might dabble in sound design, something I'm willing to learn. Although it's not a VST I really like to use, I'm not oblivious. I know it's still a very good plugin. So I ranked it at number 7. 5 and 6 are both from Yuhi. Let's say number 6, Diva, and number 5, Zebra 2. But I mean, they're interchangeable, and you can also throw in Hive. The Yuhi products are ridiculous. They're amazing. Could they be ranked higher? Possibly, but I still need a little more time with them. But with that said, I know how amazing they are. You're able to save a bunch of different presets into different categories. I love the fact I'm able to scroll through different presets with my keyboard. I've gone through a handful of presets and I already found a few I really like. Some pretty cool strings. Don't sleep on classical music. Native Instruments typically has a sale for Yuhi at the end of the year. So if you're catching this in January, you might not want to wait till December. But if you're catching this, September, October, November, I'd wait for the end of the year to invest in Yuhi. I'm really happy I picked up the Yuhi instruments, and I can't wait to discover some more hidden gems. So we're moving into the top 4. I'm going to put Omnisphere at number 4. Still a huge fan of Omnisphere. It's an amazing VST. Not only do you have amazing presets, but you can also sound design. And with Omnisphere, you can mix wavetables with samples. And like I said before, these are all amazing plugins. I don't hesitate to use Omnisphere at any point in time. Every time I open up Omnisphere, it's like going back to an old neighborhood. It just feels like home. I'm not going to spend too much time on Omnisphere because I did a full video on my favorite 25 sounds found in Omnisphere. If you haven't already seen that, go check that out. Moving into number 3, we have Triton. I'm a huge bass fan. Bass and guitar, those are 2 of my favorite instruments, and I used to play bass. I was checking out a new bass and it was $1,000, and I just looked up bass VSTs on YouTube and I found Triton, and I checked out some of the presets and I was really blown away. So I bought the VST. When it comes to synth basses, bass guitars, this VST is unreal. You can't go wrong with Triton. Honestly, I could keybase all day. I highly recommend Triton. Coming in at number 2 is a VST I use every single time I use Ableton. Since I picked it up, there's never been a day I don't use it, and that is Keyscape. There's some other great pianos out there, but I just love the sounds from Keyscape. Acoustic pianos are amazing. You even have mini pianos that sound really dope, especially if you're in the trap or hip hop. They've got key basses, toy pianos. Their electric pianos are ridiculous. They've got the Rhodes, the Wurlitzer, like the list goes on. There's so much from Keyscape. I can't stress enough how much I love Keyscape. Now that you've heard 2, 3, and 4, you understand they're all from Spectrasonics. You can't go wrong with Keyscape, Triton, and Omnisphere. Coming in at number 1 is from Native Instruments. It is the Complete 13 bundle. The reason why I ranked the Complete 13 bundle as number 1 is because they have amazing sounds, amazing instruments, amazing presets, but it also comes with amazing effects as well. like Guitar Rig 6. ROM is my favorite reverb, and again, I'm not sponsored by Native Instruments. I bought the Complete 13 upgrade for $585 after tax. You have amazing organs, pianos. They got cloud supply for hip-hop producers. Whether you're scoring a movie or you're making hip-hop, country, trap, rock, EDM, pop, you can do it all with Native Instruments Complete 13s. If you've been on the fence about picking up Complete 13, check out my full review. That should answer any questions. So that's a wrap for this episode. Like I've said before, having more VSTs does not necessarily make you a better or worse producer. It really boils down to how you use these VSTs. It's your boy Cedric from Sweet Scale TV. I'm signing out. I'll see you guys in the next episode.